everybody, this is Angie with I Feel the Rush from Brillion, Wisconsin, and we are not in Brillion right now. We are at Pine Grove Campground near Shawano, Wisconsin. I am in a camper and we are ready to rock it for this weekend. So, I still didn't want to miss out on chatting with you guys because this is going to be one of the most exciting things I've done yet. And yes, I say that every week, but I really mean it this time. Right, Quinn? Got a whole crew with me here, but nobody wants to be on the show today. So, all right, so the materials we're going to use are inkjet printer. If you don't have one, I'm sure one of your friends does. They're very inexpensive from Walmart. A lot of times you can get one for like $50 or somewhere around that range. So inkjet printer, it's very important that it's not a laser printer. I don't know the technical details of it, but I do know that inkjet printing kind of lays on top of the page where the laser printer, like, the ink goes into the page. It doesn't lay on top. That's about as much as I know about it. A piece of wood, because in this case we're actually going to be transferring an image onto this piece of wood. Now, that could be a discussion for another day. You could do all sorts of things, but I just wanted to go over the basics today because last week, for those of you who didn't see the live, we used the wood burner on this piece of wood, and I was wondering how I get a really awesome picture on here that I could burn and trace instead of drawing it by hand, because that's not my forte. So that's what we're going to talk about, transferring an image onto a piece of wood. And Quinn, your hands are dying. If I'm a little shaky, it's because Quinn's hands are getting tired. So I'm going to talk to you about that. It's super, super simple. Paper, inkjet printer, and wax paper. It's like so easy. Super easy. Okay, so first things first, I would print whatever picture you want to print. It can be an image that you're going to frame. It's going to be an image you're going to practice burning. But I would print it first. I would print it first and just compare it to your piece of wood to see how size-wise it's going to fit on there. And that way you're not monkeying around with the wax paper until you have a good size. So I've picked this awesome picture here. Quinn loves this one. Just as an example, I may not select this for actually burning because it's a little more detailed, but you could literally just put this on the wood, seal it, and call it good. So size it up. Secondly, you're going to cut wax paper, and I'm just going to rip it off. I was going to wait to show you this. This is how it ends up, but I want to explain this. I cut my wax paper, and then I tape it to my page because when I'm putting it in the printer, it gets kind of glommed up inside the printer, so I tape it at the bottom so when it pulls through, it pulls that wax paper through as well. And you want it to print on the shiny side. So the other side of the wax paper is kind of matte, and this is the glossy, shiny side. So you want to print on the glossy side. So this one is just the same picture as this one. But as you can kind of tell after I've rubbed it off, you can see that most of the ink is gone from the paper because that inkjet printed right on the top of the paper. So what I did then was I put the glossy side on the wood here, and I taped it at the top and the bottom just to hold it in place. And then you're going to take well, first I should have showed you this. If your wood is rough, you're going to want to sand it down. Try to find the smoothest piece of wood you can, just because as you transfer this over, if it's not super smooth, your image isn't going to transfer onto that wood. It's still going to be on your wax paper. So sand it off good, and then wipe it down good so it's clean, free from little dust particles and whatnot. And then you're going to take a credit card, which I don't have in my hand right now, but you're going to take your credit card and you're going to rub over, well, you could take your printer paper off. So I actually just lifted it up, and you can see the image as you're doing it. And then I just took my credit card and I was rubbing over the whole entire thing. Left it taped at the top so I could kind of lift it a little bit to see if it was coming off. The image doesn't completely come off, but most of it does. So just keep rubbing, keep looking at the image on your wood to see if it's transferring over properly. And then, as you can see, you get your finished product. So depending on what you're doing with it, like I said, I'll be burning, so I may not need to transfer the whole entire image. I just need the outline or whatever I'm going to do. If you're going to do a photograph, you can print a photograph, like a picture of something, transfer that on there, and then you could just seal it. So you could use Mod Podge, you could use the spray sealer, the clear matte or gloss finish. Spray that on there, and you're done. If it's a photograph, you know, you're going to pick a different piece of wood probably. Put a hanger on the back and call it good. Those would be excellent presents, wedding gifts, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, whatever the situation might be. Otherwise, you know, just find a piece of wood like this. This is an old piece of pallet board, and I can just practice transferring all sorts of different things until I find the right picture or the right look before you're transferring it onto the good piece that you have. So that's it. So this is fantastic, people. It doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of experience. I literally pulled this off in 20 minutes, and I'd never done it before. So wax paper, inkjet, and yeah, get creative. So if you try this, let me know. Take a picture, post it in the comments below. If you have any other suggestions on how you could use something like this or projects that you'd like to see, drop me a message. We're sweating. It's hot in here. Drop me a message below. If you have any questions, let me know as well. And yeah, so those of you who haven't been with us before, you can find us every Thursday night around 8 p.m. Tonight it got a little late because we were on our way out camping, but I wanted to touch base with you guys. And yeah, so 8 p.m. Thursday Central Time, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much again. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we'll chat with you later. Bye.